We usually think of modern animated cartoons as just silly, colorful escapism, right? But if you look a little closer, these shows are actually hiding some profoundly deep existential truths about the human condition, literally right in plain sight. Seriously, they're frequently delivering some of the hardest-hitting life lessons out there about growing up, facing reality, and dealing with what we all know as the quarter-life crisis.
It all kicks off with an incredibly simple question. What do you think the meaning of life is? I mean, it's the ultimate crisis question, isn't it? It forces us to look squarely in the mirror. We usually start asking what the meaning of it all is exactly when the script we've been handed by society just stops making sense.
Part 1. The Endless Rat Race, Trapped in the Loop.
So, here's the inescapable trap so many of us find ourselves in. Get up, shower, work, sleep. You're working away your life just to repeat the exact same sequence the very next day. It's basically a closed loop, and it leaves absolutely no room for actual living. It totally leaves you wondering, isn't there more to my existence than just being useful to a system?
And this endless loop fuels a massive trap of consumerism. Growing up, we're taught the goal is to go to school, get a job, and earn money. But what's the actual reality? We end up chained to jobs we deeply dislike just to buy things the TV makes us want. And why? Simply so others won't lose their jobs and suffer the exact same horrible fate. It is a completely self-perpetuating machine of dissatisfaction.
To put this into perspective, just consider this staggering number. 27 million. That is the number of years bees, as an entire species, haven't had a single day off. No way, right? It's a dark, comedic metaphor from the source material showing that whether you're a bug or a human, picking a job just to have it work you to death is a genuinely terrifying prospect.
Basically, we're running on a hedonic treadmill. We exhaust ourselves trying to impress people or buy massive houses, but we end up with cash that can never, ever buy back the time that job took away from us. You're left with a life lived entirely on autopilot.
Part 2. Anxiety and Existential Dread, the Toll of the Routine.
Look, this is not how any of us imagined adult life would be. Instead of freedom, we get hit with these crushing realities. I'm talking terrible, debilitating neck pain, soul-crushing depression, terrifying anxiety, and crippling loneliness. We spend our Saturday nights lying around in the dark, ironically complaining about the movie we ourselves turned on, all while plagued by these very real physical and emotional symptoms. It's incredibly boring and honestly, incredibly painful.
And all of this surfaces a deep, haunting regret. You only get to be young once. It's that painful realization that instead of going to music festivals, playing guitar on the beach, falling in love, and making all those lasting memories, we're just hiding in the dark, wondering where the heck the years went.
This right here is pure existential angst. Whether you're crying over a spilled coffee, mourning an imaginary favorite cup that's gone forever, or making totally wild excuses because the arcade had no windows and you lost track of time, this angst comes from a total disconnect with reality. We obsess over imaginary or trivial problems because the real issues in our lives are just way too daunting to confront.
Plus, our bitterness, negativity, and refusal to face reality actually blind us. Like the quote perfectly puts it, when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. We completely ignore the warning signs in our toxic routines or relationships because we're just deep, deep in denial.
Part 3. Harsh Truths and Consequences, Facing Reality.
Eventually, we have to wake up and realize that our actions actually have consequences. Avoiding our lives doesn't just hurt us in a vacuum, it hurts the people around us who rely on us. If we constantly make excuses and neglect our responsibilities, we might literally cause someone else to lose their livelihood. And sometimes, if we lose our purpose, we truly have nothing left.
Now, to live life, you actually need problems. Sounds totally backwards, doesn't it? But it's absolutely true. Think about it. If you get everything you want the very minute you want it, there is literally no point to living. Overcoming the struggle, facing that friction, and actually solving problems, that is what gives our lives meaning. Of course, facing reality and putting in the work hurts at first. It takes immense effort to change your routine. But there is such a powerful philosophy here. It gets easier. Every day it gets a little easier. As much as it hurts to start, it's the only path forward. The really hard part, well, that's simply waking up and choosing to do the work every single day.
Part 4. Taking a Leap of Faith, The Courage to Change.
You cannot let the fear of failure or even the fear of something as simple as talking to the person you have feelings for keep you paralyzed in a life you hate. Because if you leave things the way they are now, you will regret it for the rest of your life. The regret of inaction will always haunt you way more than the sting of making a mistake.
And that fear leads right into the paralysis of analysis. So many of us are waiting for this clear, flashing sign or the perfect moment to make a change. But here's the secret: you won't know when you're ready. You can't wait for the perfect moments because you'll never actually feel 100% ready. Nature has already put the courage inside of you. You just have to choose to use it.
You simply cannot calculate your way out of an existential crisis. You have to stop hiding in your shell, give up your fear of the unknown, and just take that leap of faith. That's all it is, a leap of faith. Sometimes, letting go of the edge is literally the only way to find out if you can fly.
Because nothing ventured, nothing gained. No matter how many hits you take, you've got to find a way to bounce back. As the source material powerfully suggests, sometimes it's only after you give up everything familiar that you can begin to find the genuine way to be happy. If you venture nothing, you gain absolutely nothing.
Part 5. Finding your reason to live. Passion over practicality.
This sets up the ultimate generational conflict. On one side, we have practical survival. Valuing financial safety, keeping your head down to pay the bills, and shielding yourself from struggle. But on the other side, we have creative purpose. Letting a passion, like music, completely consume your thoughts from waking to sleeping and embracing the struggle because the dream absolutely demands it.
There's this powerful exchange where one character says, "You can't eat dreams for breakfast," and the response, "Then I don't want to eat." Pursuing your passion isn't just about picking a fun career or having a cool hobby. If you can't eat dreams for breakfast, then maybe you just don't want to eat at all. It is about claiming your literal reason for living, and declaring that mere survival without purpose just isn't going to cut it anymore.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final provocative thought. If you died today, would your life have amounted to nothing? Are you just showering, working, and sleeping on an endless, unthinking loop to buy things you don't even need? Or have you finally taken that leap of faith and found your true reason to live? Something to think about. See you next time.